What is victory? What is success? How do we measure that? How will we know we're moving the ball down the field? That's a good metaphor right there. How do we measure our progress? Well, in football, success is moving the ball down the field and scoring. And if you score and score and score, you win. On a football field, there are marks along the way. There's hash lines, which are 1 yard. There's 5 yards, every 5 yards, then every 10 yards. And then so you continue that until you go all the way to the goal line. And so you got the 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, and then on down 40, 30, 20, 10, score. Well, what I want to talk about tonight is the missional marks are like the marks on a field to show us how we measure how we're doing. Now, we're embarking on a new adventure for a Baptist association. This new vision strategy is not any longer just how we minister to our member churches, but how also a strategy to help our churches more effectively minister to the communities that they're planted in. How we engage will determine our progress. And we have put together an acrostic to identify what it means to engage in our mission. What does it mean when we engage in our mission? So it's an acrostic, ENGAGE. First is encounter Jesus on a daily basis. As a part of the strategic team, when I saw this point, the first thing I thought of encountering Jesus on a daily basis was probably what you're thinking. A daily devotional time, looking up to Jesus and looking for him, speaking to him. He's speaking to us through his word. But it's much more than that. In this new paradigm that we are as an association, it's no longer about just who we are and how we edify ourselves and how we become more fully developed together as churches together, but it's about not only looking up to Jesus, but looking around for Jesus every day. Looking for Jesus as well as looking up to Jesus. Now here's what I mean. Matthew 25 describes what I mean. Then the King, Jesus, will say to those on his right, "Come you who are blessed by my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the creation of the world. For I was hungry and you fed me. I was thirsty and you gave me a drink. I was a stranger and you invited me in. I was naked and you gave me clothing. I was sick and you cared for me. I was in prison and you visited me." Then these righteous ones will reply, "Lord, when did we ever see you like this?" And the King will say, "I tell you the truth. When you did it to the least of these my brethren, you are doing it unto me." You were doing it unto me. So both looking up to Jesus in a devotional life and even devotioning together, but also looking around for Jesus is what it means to encounter Jesus on a daily basis. God's at work all the time around us, and we have to learn to join with him. And that's what this new vision is about. Looking up to Jesus, but looking around to find Jesus where he's working. And churches need to work together to be able to do that. I think that we found some places where we can find Jesus already at work. And we need to learn to join with him as individuals and as churches. The second part is navigate. Navigate life alongside trusted friends. To navigate alongside trusted friends means partnership. You've heard the word a lot tonight. We're going to need each other more than ever in this new paradigm, this new vision. Our ministry teams will develop tactics to help us do this strategy that Herb has lined out. The second is G, and that's grasp and personally respond to the needs of lost people in Eastern Polk County. Now this will take rediscovering what it means for 21st century people to think of themselves as lost. I don't meet very many people anymore who ever think of themselves as lost. I don't know if I ever really did. Even though I've been doing pastoral ministry for 33 years, I don't know how many I ever really found that saw themselves as lost. What I've always discovered was you have to help people understand they're lost before they can ever be saved. And so in the 21st century, it's a different kind of world. It's a different canvas we're painting on. It's a canvas that people are thinking differently than ever before. And we have to rediscover, and this is vital for the church today. The church that will make it has to rediscover how people see themselves and then help them find themselves so that they can find Jesus. Amen. The A part of engage means to approach pastoral leadership with a mission mindset. At first when I saw that, I thought, then Mike's going to approach all of us pastors to tell us how we ought to be missionally minded. But that's not what it's talking about. We have to come to grips with the fact that most of our churches and us pastors are foreign to the very culture we live in. Did you get that?
That's right.
I am foreign very much to the culture I live in. You are foreign, and the church is foreign to the culture it lives in. And that's all right. That's all right. We are in a post-Christian culture. And it's all right because we have a Holy Spirit who knows exactly what we need to do. That's right. Pastors, we've got to begin to see ourselves as foreign missionaries, and as such to hold ourselves accountable to equip the indigenous people sitting on our pews to be missionaries to the real everyday world they go into.
That's good.
Here's what I mean. Foreign missionaries engage people in the language of the people. They take on a different look and a different style, a different way. Missionaries have to meet people where they are and think about how they're encountering life. And it's changed. Think about where you're sitting. Right now, where you're sitting, even 10 years ago, who would have thought that one of our strongest, most effective churches would be meeting in a storefront in a shopping center? Yeah. And we would be assembled with them tonight at the Ridge Baptist Associational annual meeting. You wouldn't even have thought of it 5 years ago. Things have changed. Now, I'm not holding Heartland up as the only relevant example of a missional mindset, but let's give them credit for being the creative missionary risk takers that they are. Pastors and church leaders can learn from many sources how to approach pastoral leadership with a missional mindset. And I'm going to tell you, it's outside our box. Yeah. It's even outside this box to reach large numbers of people. And we think man, what is this? I mean, think of the creativity in this. Where are they? They're at Legoland. I expect the next time to come in here and find a pulpit with Legos. I mean, I expect great things from this church. Yeah. Write that down. They're always looking for great ideas.
They just got an idea.
And then number 5 is give generously to kingdom advancing initiatives. Now, what I have seen is this. People will respond to an appeal once or twice. But what I've seen is that people give to visions that they believe in, that are bold and effective and engaging, and they give to it often. That's what it's about in giving. I want to give to winners. Don't you want to give to winners? Yeah. I want to see us win. What does it mean to win for the kingdom of God? That's the way we have to see things. Give generously to kingdom advancing initiatives. I'm going to tell you, if we start to do what I know we talked about in the strategic team about doing, it's going to take a lot more to fly than it is to walk what we're doing now. We're talking about flying. We're talking about soaring. We're talking about invading culture with the love of Jesus Christ and making a difference and an impact where people are, not expecting them to come to us. Mm-hmm. Number 6, experience the benefits of lifelong learning. Okay, this is my hot spot. I love this. I'm a young old man, and I'm a lifetime learner, and I hope to know more by the time I get to be 94 than I am now at something less than 94. Experience the benefits of lifelong learning. Let me just try to stretch this a little bit, because I actually stretched myself thinking about this. Engaging our techno-info-emo culture, that's technological, informational, emotional culture, is more than dispensing information. It's about capturing the heart as well as the mind. IQ used to be the classic test used to measure potential effectiveness. IQ is still important today, but equally important is EQ, emotional intelligence. And here's why. Up to 3/4 of the people that you meet and encounter, that are in your churches, that are in my church, that are in this world today, up to 3/4 of those people receive a message or a communication based upon how they feel about it, not how they understand it in their intellect. It's about their feelings. This has big ramifications for how we have to communicate. This goes back to the missionary thing. We have to be answering questions that people are actually asking. I mean, I like to just answer the questions I like to answer that I know the answer to. But it's left up to us to find out what are the real questions people are asking. I want to tell you, it's not about apologetics or defending the faith. It's about what they're feeling on a daily basis, the defeat they're feeling in their lives, the fear, the anxiety, the stress, the wondering whether they're going to make it through this week. We've got to learn how to ask the right questions. For unless we do that, there's no way that we can form an answer that will help them and bring them out of the lostness and the darkness that they're in. But IQ and EQ are not all we need in order to be effective. To be an effective missional church, RQ also is required. And this is the most important thing today, relational intelligence. Relational intelligence is our greatest, most life-changing requirement to be effective missional Christians in a techno-info-emo society. We have more and more become a culture of needy, disconnected, relationally challenged people. Our largest need and greatest challenge is about relationships. Life change happens through building relational bridges to the hurting and disconnected. Inside the church, we call it discipling. Outside the church, we'll have to call it mentoring. But life to life is the way lives change.